Hello, beautiful and powerful women. Welcome to Susan Unleashed. This podcast is for any woman who wants to live a gorgeous life on her terms and who knows that not only is being a woman enough, it is the key to everything. I'm your host, Susan Elizabeth, certified professional coach, #1 best-selling author, and Energy Leadership Index master practitioner. I fiercely support women who are passionate about elevating their lives while embracing their truest selves. Are you ready to unleash your power? Coco Chanel said, "The most courageous act is still to think for yourself aloud." Hello, everyone. I love that quote because today's episode is all about innate power and confidence. Now, how many of us have experienced a lack of confidence at times or during certain periods of our life, or still have that at moments? I think we all do. We're human beings, and I think especially as women, sometimes we wonder, are we good enough? Are we confident enough? And I'm here to tell you that confidence it's a part of who we are. It's our innate power. We are born with our innate power inside of us. Think about when you were young, as you were a child. Think about when you had you didn't even think about not doing something. Like if you wanted something, you went and you did it. If you wanted something, you believed in that, you went out and you thought it, you felt it, and you achieved it. So I think a part of what we've forgotten along the way is when life happens to us and those difficult moments happen to us, confidence is shaken out of us. It's rattled out of us. So the good news is confidence is an emotion. And I talk a lot about mindset and how our minds create our feelings and emotions, which then create our thoughts. So best news ever is that you can change your thoughts, which can then create new emotions to feel confident, to source from that innate power that's inherently inside of us. So ladies, best news ever, it is in us. We just need to find it or come back to it or stand in it or draw from that. So today we're going to talk a little bit about how to do that. And I'm going to share with you a couple stories along the way as well. So again, emotions are one word. And I like to continue to teach this because anybody who's new to listening to Susan Unleashed and, the work that I do, mindset is a huge part. When I learned that your mind and your thoughts create your emotions and those create your actions, my life changed. I thought, what? Nobody ever told me this before. And I learned this kind of midway through my life. But now that I know this, I make different decisions and I choose new thoughts. I choose new thoughts that serve me, that allow me to get to where I need to better, to have better feeling emotions, to create better actions. So let's talk a little bit about confidence. So what you focus on expands. You might have also heard the saying, where energy flows, where attention goes. So if you focus on, I'm not sure how to do this, you won't be sure how to do this. If you have thoughts like, oh my gosh, I don't know, I'm nervous. What will they think? I'm not good enough for this. I don't know if I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I have the confidence to do this, or I'm scared to do this. That's the feelings that are going to result from those thoughts are going to result in exactly what you're thinking. And then your actions, you may take action with a lot of fear, or you might not take action. And that's the reason why some of us are stuck, because we're not fully confident, or what about I'm not sure what to do. And that's so normal to feel all of this. It's, we're human beings. But what I want to share with you is that there are ways to source that confidence and innate power that's inside you. So what you focus on expands. So if you focus on and choose thoughts like, I've got this. I was made for this. I don't know how to do it, but I'm going to figure it out. And I'm just going to put one foot out there. I'm going to stick my neck out. I'm going to have faith in myself. I'm going to have faith that the universe has my back. I've got my own back. So if you feel like your thoughts are creating your inadequacies, then you will feel that. You will not take action, or you'll take action that might be not as bold of an action or fierce of an action that you might have taken. If you want to learn how to live a ripe, wild, and fierce lifestyle, make sure to check out my new course. It's in the show notes, so when you are finished with the podcast, head on over to the show notes and click on the link. So I get it. We're human, but the good news is these things can be relearned. And I so believe that having trust in yourself, coming back to yourself and really believing and having that trust is one of the key things. So having trust in yourself, trusting in that universe, having that discernment and listening to your intuition and, that gut, your core. And it's really necessary to have trust, to have confidence, because trust and confidence, they really are connected to each other. And I know for me, trust took many, many years to learn. And I think trust was it was hard for me. I mean, I had a lot of experiences in life where, I had evidence that I couldn't trust. I couldn't trust certain people. I couldn't trust certain situations. And I also didn't fully trust myself at times. But when I didn't listen to my intuition, I know that it didn't serve me well. When I did listen to my intuition, it served me well. And I thought, I can trust myself. And I gained evidence. The more I listened to my intuition or my gut or my core, or my being, my heart, I continue to have evidence and pay attention to that. And it has served me well. So I think something about confidence and innate power that's within inside you is also being willing to fail. So many of us do not want to fail. Like failure is a bad thing. Like, I can't do that. What if I fail? Well, listen. Here's the thing. Failure is a part of success. And I love this quote by Thomas Edison that says I think it's by Thomas Edison. It says failure. I don't know anything about failure, but I can tell you like 500 ways how not to invent a light bulb. So don't quote me on that, but there's some kind of really, really cool quote that it's just a change in perspective. So what? The opposite side of success is failure. They're connected. So when you can stand and show up anyways, feel the fear and do it anyways. Remember what we talked about fear? Forget everything and run. False evidence appearing real. So what? What's the worst thing that can happen? And I think if you can go to that place when you're terrified, when you're lacking the confidence in your innate self, in yourself, you're not trusting. If you can ask yourself that question, what is the worst thing that could happen? It kind of takes the charge out of it. It kind of takes the fear away and it dissolves it a little bit. It might not dissolve it all the way, and that's okay. But if you can go to the place where if you are willing to show up and being willing to fail, and then coming back to trusting yourself that even if I fall down, even if I make a mistake, because really there are no mistakes. If you are willing to show up and being willing to what we call fail, just imagine what you could do. Imagine what you can do if you just said, I'm going to just feel the fear and I'm going to do it anyways. And if I fall down, I know how to stand up. And if I fall down and I don't know how to stand up, I'm going to trust that I'll figure out how to stand up. Are you with me? Is this making sense? So this is really important because I think that confidence is something, I've seen it in every single one of my clients. I've seen it in every person that I've worked with, men and women, executives in the C-suite to grassroots people. It's in everybody and everything. But here's the thing. If you know how to navigate and pull out your innate power, to tap into that, you are going to have so much more success in your life, whether it's your career, in your family life, in your love life, whatever it is that you want to do. If you are able to more quickly recognize and have some ways or tips how to source your innate power, source your confidence, you're going to be so much further ahead. You're going to have more success in your life. You're going to have more flow. You're going to have more ease. You're going to have trust. You're going to be able to do things that maybe before you might not have done. So when you make a decision that I am going to show up and I'm going to be willing to fail, and what's the worst thing that can happen? You are not going to remain stuck. You are going to change direction. You're going to move forward, and you're going to build evidence for yourself that you've got this. So being willing to fail, this is so interesting. When I remember certain times in my career that I was terrified of failure, and I was terrified of feeling my feelings of failure. And people say, I felt like a failure. I just did not want to go there. And I did not want to, what I thought would be a fail. I did not want to fail. I always wanted to do well. I always wanted to do right. And I think when somebody asked me the question and said, you know what, let's go there. What's the worst thing that can happen? So we put a big spotlight on it and we sat back and we just kind of observed. And I thought, well, the worst thing that could happen is I lose my job. I lose my house. I end up, living in a tent by the ocean, and I drink cheap wine and, I have to figure it out. If that's the worst thing that can happen, at least I'll be, free. I'll be near the ocean. I won't have all this stuff that I have to take care of. I will figure out a way how I can do things differently. And if that's the worst thing that can happen, then that's not so bad. I think I can do this. So what I'm saying is, you've got this. Don't be afraid to ask yourself, what is the worst thing that can happen? Just put a spotlight on that and just kind of imagine, kind of go there. And if you don't know how to go there, once you navigate okay, I'm going to do this. What I'd like to ask my clients is when they say, I don't know, I love to ask them, and you can ask this of yourself, well, what if you did know? What would you do? Because then it kind of shifts the perspective as you walk into what you would like to do and how you would like to move forward. Okay, so once you decide that you want to feel the fear, do it anyways, show up, make the decision right, I am going to do this. I'm terrified. That's okay. And again, just remember, there's no good or bad feelings. They're just feelings. Just feel it and do it. So take that first step. Follow through. Once you decide to do that, take that first step and follow through with the actions. Do it. Follow through. It's going to be amazing. I bet that you will see that you can do this, and you will get evidence, And it wasn't that hard when you get to the other side, or when you accomplish what you want to accomplish, or when you do what you want to do. So when it gives you evidence, it's kind of like a momentum that kind of has your back and it continues to push you forward. And as you grow and you have that evidence, celebrate it. Celebrate it that you felt the fear, you did it anyways, you sourced from within yourself, and you took that first step, and then you got new information, and then it allowed you to take a second step. Now you're gaining evidence that you can do this. You can navigate it, and maybe it wasn't as bad as you thought, because again, we create things in our own mind. We create thoughts in our mind that create feelings of inadequacy, overwhelm, not enough, I'm not confident. So when you are able to get new evidence that you can do this, pay attention to that. And remember that feeling, remember those thoughts. And remember, you are that powerful that you can choose a new thought, one that better serves you. Okay, are you still with me? Okay, so I also want to talk about let's ditch the what will they think. That's still another one that we hold on to sometimes, and that can keep us stuck. Oh my gosh, what are they going to think? I don't know if I can do this. What if I do it wrong? What are they going to think? Who cares? It's none of your business what they think anyways. Really, truly, I'm giving you a permission slip right here, right now. Ditch but what will they think? Please. Who cares? It's none of your business. That's theirs. That is their stuff. And if they try to put it on you, that is not yours. What do you think? That's what I want to know. Okay, next thing. Know yourself, know your why, and know your who. So I love this one because it comes back to me where I can share with you in my personal development in really doing the work over the years. Getting to know yourself. This is such an opportunity when you want to source from that confidence and really knowing yourself, trusting in yourself, but then really knowing your why. Why do you want to do this? And getting really clear and focus on your why. Focus on that and let that draw you towards what you want to do, what you want to feel, what you want to have. And that confidence will then kind of take a back seat to that why being so big in your life that it will propel you forward. It will draw you forward towards what you would love to do, your why. Your why being bigger than you will automatically pull you forward. Feels good. That feels really, really good. Really coming back and knowing your why with continuing to learn your who. Who are you? How do you want to show up? What do you want to feel? What are you thinking? And so really, really knowing your why. I think there's a story about, my why. I was stuck for so many years in my corporate career. I would say, I don't know, more than 5 years, maybe more than 7 or 8 years. And yes, I was taking steps because I was doing the work and I was taking, tiny steps every single day. But I was really feeling at a place like I had been in my position for a while, in my leadership position, and I just felt like there was something more for me. But I didn't know what it was. I didn't know how to get there. I was doing the work on who I was. And I was also doing the why, like why I want to step deeper into my life purpose. That was a why. I want to reach more people. That was a why. I want to have a bigger impact. That was a why. While I'm doing the work on the who, being and wanting to be a better person and knowing myself deeper today than I was yesterday, tomorrow more, so that way I'm a better person tomorrow than I am today. And I kept, I'm sure it was funny. I'm sure my life coach was watching me, having it all figured out in her wisdom as she was witnessing me. But I had my own journey and I had to learn this, just being stuck and, not really shattering and breaking through, stepping into what was it, so I had thought of things about, well, maybe I'm going to leave my job, my company. So I thought about that for a while and I'm thinking, no, that doesn't feel quite right. Then I started thinking about, well, what if I did a different position inside the same company? No, that doesn't feel right. And I'm also wondering, okay, how confident am I? Am I going to go out interview? What's that going to be like? But I then started doing the work on what is my real why and what does that look like? And envisioning my future self and really getting clear on why do I want to do what I want to do? Why this? Why that? And I started futuring myself and I started journaling. I was meditating and I really started really stretching myself to future myself. And I came back to, a lot of the questions. I funneled through my values. I funneled through my strengths. And how do I put all of these to work? And I came up with that I am so grateful for where I'm at and for being stuck for all these years. Even though I was growing daily, weekly, monthly, I was still growing. I was still moving forward. Some days, I would have some setbacks. I would not have failures, but I would have experiences. I like that word. That feels so much better. I would have these experiences that were lessons. But when I really got clear of my why, that unleashed something in me that brought me clarity that I could back it up to from that future point in that future self of why I wanted to do what I did and who I wanted to be. And then I backed it up to my present day. And I started laying out a plan to path it out between now and that future place. And my why was so strong and so compelling for me. And I believed in it so deeply that it just, the clarity unfolded. And then I had the confidence and I could source from that confidence and that clarity to take this step forward. And I still didn't completely know the how. I just kind of knew that I had to take certain steps that I started taking to get to the why. And my why was this. My why was, I want to go out and reach millions of women. I want to make a bigger global impact to better women's lives so that way they can really unapologetically step into their purpose and own who they are without apology and show up fully for their lives to experience pleasure and joy and meaning from their divine selves. And have everything in abundance, everything beyond what they could have imagined possible. That why is so big to pull me forward. So I get to do that every single day in my corporate career by being an example, by my leadership role. But then also I get to do it through this channel with all of you and with the business of coaching women, of mentoring women at a much bigger impact through my passion and my desire. It is so powerful that it pulls me forward. And I had no question on my confidence. Do you see where I'm going with this? When I really got into my why, the who and the how started becoming more clear. And then as I journey through this process, the how just is unfolding. And so many times we're like, I don't know how to do that. Don't worry about that. Come back to your why, your what, and your who. If you want to learn how to live a ripe, wild, and fierce life, make sure that you check out my new course. When you're finished with the podcast, the link is in the show notes, so head on over to the link and check it out there. Okay, next tip. Whew, preach. All right, let me take a sip of water. For any of you listening and not watching the video, I'm just taking a little sip of water. And I love these glasses. These are so gorgeous. I got these actually years ago at Anthropology. And it reminds me, I love like Art Deco. I love Art Nouveau. I love like the 20s and 30s. There's like such a glamorous and an elegance. And I love these glasses. I love it. Just, they're beautiful and they're elegant, and it makes me feel good when I drink out of it. So anyways, okay. So next thing, embodying your confidence. This is something where owning it and stepping in it and just really embodying your confidence and knowing that you can handle whatever comes your way. Whatever comes your way. If you have the confidence, you will believe that you are enough. If you have the confidence, you will believe that you are enough. Did you hear that? Soak that in. And if you can take the actions and the tiny daily steps on a daily basis with your mindset, with your rituals, with your routines, with your habits, you can show up with intention and you can show up on purpose to move forward, sourcing from within. I've got this. I don't know how, but I will figure it out. I believe in myself. I trust in myself. And I'm going to trust in the universe, making that decision, choosing that. And when you have that mindset and you choose those thoughts, do you see how much better that feels? So much better, right? It is a decision. Ladies, I want to say it again. It's a decision. And again, it's okay. Feel the fear and do it anyways. Play around with that. But what about this one? I can handle whatever comes my way, and I'm never given more than I can handle. And think of it, when really tough stuff has come your way, haven't you figured it out? I don't think we give ourselves enough credit as women. When the blankety blank hits the fan, haven't we all figured it out no matter what? We all have. And even if it's reaching out to somebody else to get guidance, that's okay. But really, no kidding. You've got this. We've got this. We can figure it out. It's just the mind creating thoughts from a place of, oh, I don't know if I'm good enough. I don't know if I've got this. Gosh, I think I'm lacking confidence. I really need the confidence to do this. You have the confidence. It's innate power. It's inside you. It is your innate power. You were birthed with it. You are given all the resources inside you. We don't need to be fixed. We are not broken. I've said that before. I'm going to continue to say that because it is true. It's just continuing to take where you're at. And that's what I love being a coach. Taking who you are today and moving you forward. Like not looking backwards in the rearview mirror because you can only look in one direction at a time. I have so many clients that, they want to look back, they want to understand things. And that's not what coaching is. I believe coaching, and I know coaching to be taking exactly who you are in this moment, laying out what are your dreams, your desires, and your goals, and moving forward towards that, removing anything holding you back, whether it's limiting beliefs, assumptions, meaning, oh, it happened in the past, it's going to happen again. That's an assumption. Limiting beliefs are things that you're holding yourself back. And shattering these things and moving you forward and giving you the confidence, giving you the evidence that you've got this. You really do. I so know this. And when you believe in yourself and your abilities and everything that you are, you will move forward. You will experience your innate power, your confidence. Okay, so let me just do a little summary. These are just some ways. These are things that we've talked about through the podcast. So I'm just going to kind of summarize some of the things that we've been talking about. So confidence really is about believing yourself. It's taking thoughts. It's choosing thoughts that I believe in myself. I trust in myself. I got this. It's believing in yourself and your abilities and everything that you are. That's confidence. That's your innate power. Excuse me. It moves you forward. And use your voice. Speak up. Don't be afraid. And I find so many women, I had a woman I was coaching with, and she was afraid of losing her job. She was afraid she would be seen as, not good enough. She was afraid of being seen as maybe not having good ideas. So she would make herself small. She would hold herself back. So we did, I want to say like 7 or 8 sessions around confidence building with her. And she got to go out and practice and bring it back. We were meeting bi-weekly, and she got evidence. And I said, look at it like a playground. Just go out and play with it. Play with using your voice. Speak up. You have ideas. And I bet, if you really stand in that and know that your ideas are good ideas, gather that evidence. And she did that. And when she did that, she would come back, and I watched her go from a place of questioning herself, wondering, can I get unstuck? Can I move forward? How do I get confidence? I don't know if I'm good enough. All the guys, they seem to always be confident, but I don't let them know, but I'm terrified inside. Over the course of 3 or 4 months, I watched her step into and own her innate power, which is her confidence. And she ended up getting like a pay increase out of the normal pay increase, because she was using her voice and speaking up and providing ideas and values on a project. And then she went and asked for what she valued, what she felt she was worth for that, because she started gaining evidence. I mean, she really, really stepped into her. I was so proud of her. And we got to celebrate that. And it gave her evidence. And then she said, you know what, as I go forward, I know that whatever comes up, I'm going to be able to navigate. I'm going to be able to handle this. And I said, you are. We all are. So yes, speaking up, feeling the fear and doing it anyways. And if that little voice inside you starts coming out, just recognize it and just let it know you don't get to be here. You're just thoughts, and I'm going to choose new thoughts. And then making that decision to follow through on what you decide to do. That's important. Continuing that. And then focusing on what you can do, trusting in yourself, and that you have everything that is inside you for what you need in life. You've got this. You were made for this, and be willing to fail. Being willing to show up and do it anyways, and know that you've got this. You were made for this. No kidding. So it kind of, when you start doing that, it kind of takes the scary out of it. It takes the unknown out of that. And then asking yourself the question, when you are struggling, go to the place of, well, okay, what is the worst thing that could happen? And really think about that. And I bet it takes some of the charge out of what is happening. And then go out and take some steps to prove that you've got this. And my question that I want to leave you with is this. What would you be willing to do if you knew you couldn't fail? Okay, everyone, that's it for this week. Thank you so much. And go out and source from your innate power and have the confidence and do that one thing this week that maybe you thought you couldn't do. Cheers, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love it if you would leave me a review or share it with someone else who may enjoy it too. To stay connected with me, please head on over to SusanElizabethCoaching.com and make sure that you sign up for my tips on how to live an unleashed life full of passion and purpose. Until next time, go live an unleashed life.